Hello, I'm Derek Arden and welcome to Monday Night Live. We got part two with Graham Jones, the internet psychologist and the expert on artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, point four, etc. Graham, welcome. Thanks for joining us once again. Tell us all about this artificial intelligence, which is doing my head in, please.
Well, um, this morning I had breakfast with Derek. We sat in the lovely confines of the beautiful Ivy restaurant overlooking Guildford Castle. So beautiful, kind of taking me back to my teenage years, as it almost back in Guildford. My student days in Guildford. Um, it's changed a lot since then. A very pretty lunch we had, breakfast we had. And Derek said, "What can you do with ChatGPT this evening?" So I got my phone out and I went to ChatGPT and I just asked it a very simple question. And the simple question I asked it, I'll share on the screen and you can see what answer it gave. So if I share the screen now, hopefully, let me just, I want to share three things, don't I? So I'm going to share these. So hopefully you can now see at the top, I asked, Derek Arden is a top negotiator. What can you tell me about him? What are his top three tips on negotiating? And before Derek had been able to eat his hash brown at breakfast this morning, it gave us all this answer. Yeah. So Derek Arden is widely recognised as an expert in the field of negotiation. It goes on, and it then tells us here are his three key things. And so it's all quite accurate. Yeah. So it's obviously found this information about Derek on the internet and various other bits of data that it might have. So I got back home and I said, "Thank you. Can you take the summary you've just written and turn it into a series of PowerPoint slides?" Now, ChatGPT, I have to tell you, is not very good at producing PowerPoint slides on its own. So it produced some PowerPoint slides. And the PowerPoint slides it produced, hopefully you can see these. Can you see those PowerPoint slides now?
Yes, we can
Yeah,
see
yeah.
you, Graham.
So these are the PowerPoint slides that it produced. They're pretty boring, aren't they? Yeah. So all it's done is taken what I asked it to do and just summarize what it did. Yeah. That's not very good. So I thought, right, we don't want that. What we want to do is to ask it to produce some slides in a different way. So if you look up here on the left here, you've got this thing called Explore GPTs. So this gives you lots of plugins that you can use. So if you just type in here PowerPoint, yeah, it's got lots of different ways that you can produce PowerPoint slides. Now, some of these are good, some of these are not so good. Some of them require you to pay more money to a different kind of company. So I asked it to produce some slides, and it went off. And I asked one of those plugins, gave it the information, and it produced me the outlines of the slides. So it's not actually producing the slides at this point, but it's produced the outlines of the slides. And also I asked it to produce some pictures. And so it produced me this picture of somebody teaching, talking about negotiation. Yeah, so that makes perfect sense. Yeah, it's just, this is Derek, by the way, in the middle. You may not have realized. Yeah. So it just produced that. That picture doesn't exist. That picture has been created simply by me asking it to produce an image about somebody teaching negotiation. They said that picture does not exist anywhere. And also asked it to produce a kind of concept of the issues, the three things that Derek talks about. So thinking about listening, yeah, and watching body language, and getting an agreement. You can see all of those kind of things that are the three tips of the Derek's giving in that thing that ChatGPT gave us, it's combined them into this kind of graphic. That graphic, again, doesn't exist anywhere in the world. This is the only place this graphic exists. It's created specifically by this PowerPoint Maker app. And it took probably about 4 minutes to do all this. So to produce the 2 graphics and to produce the slides. But unfortunately, I've now got to take this and put it into PowerPoint. So I thought, well, I don't really want to waste my time doing that. So what I did is I went to something called beautiful.ai. Now, beautiful.ai is not part of ChatGPT. Beautiful.ai is part of Anthropic. So it uses Anthropic, which is the Amazon equivalent of ChatGPT. So this is a piece of software that uses a different large language model to come up with its information. So I asked it to produce me a set of slides. And this is what it produced. So I'll just, yep, so this is the first slide it produced. I didn't give it the picture. It found the picture on the internet. Yep, so it's, I don't know where that is, Derek, but there's obviously a packed room behind you.
It was a whole city football club. Thanks for that, Graham.
And then the second slide, it found another picture, and it used the summary that it had got from ChatGPT information. It then took your core principles and produced that slide. So these slides look reasonably okay. They're not bad slides. All I did was just ask it exactly the same instructions as ChatGPT's plugin, PowerPoint Maker. And this just beautiful AI, it just produced these for me. So these are much better slides. These you could show to people. You can tweak them and edit them, of course. And then it told us that it'd written a book called Win-Win. And just to prove it, it found a picture of Derek with Win-Win and added that. I didn't tell it that. It did all this itself. And then apparently that was last updated in 2023. So that's all very good, isn't it? Yeah. So we've got much better slides. Again, that took about 2 or 3 minutes for all those slides to be produced. Yeah. So that's not bad, is it? So I thought, tell you what, we don't want static old slides. What we want is a video. So I decided to produce a video. So here is a video of Derek's negotiating tips created this took about 5 minutes to create. I didn't do it. All I did was tell it, here is the stuff that ChatGPT has given me. Yeah, go off and do something with it. So this is what it did.
Hey everyone! Today I want to share Derek Arden's key negotiation tips. Whether you're in sales, business, or everyday life, these tips can help you navigate any negotiation with confidence and success. First, Derek emphasizes the importance of thorough preparation. Research the other party, understand their needs, and anticipate their objections. This will give you the upper hand and boost your confidence during the negotiation process. Next, Derek stresses the significance of relationship building. Establishing rapport and trust with the other party can lead to more open and constructive discussions. It's not just about the deal, but also about the people involved. Effective communication is another crucial aspect. Derek advises active listening, asking open-ended questions, and using positive language to create a collaborative atmosphere. This approach can lead to win-win outcomes where both parties feel satisfied with the results. Lastly, Derek advocates for ethical win-win solutions. He believes that successful negotiations should benefit all parties involved, fostering long-term relationships and mutual respect. So there you have it, Derek Arden's invaluable negotiation tips. Remember, preparation, relationship building, and ethical communication are the keys to successful negotiations. Good luck. Derek stresses the significance of relationships.
Sorry, I took that back to the beginning then. Never mind. So you can see that's quite straightforward. So Carl wants to know, Derek, do we really need you anymore?
Yeah, I think you're out of work, Derek.
Gee whiz. Do you want to stop sharing your
I'm only half joking there. It's I'm wondering if that's a concern, actually, really. Because I kind of like Derek, so I'd like to keep him around, but where does this lead?
So the fact is that ChatGPT got its information from what is on Derek's website, presumably, and anywhere else there is information about Derek. So those three key points are, and we discussed this at breakfast, didn't we, Derek, that those are three key points that you do make. We all know that. If you've heard Derek talk about negotiating, you know he does make those points. And so it's making points that Derek makes, but it can't make those points without Derek having made them in the first place, because anybody else who talks about negotiating may have a different three core points that they like to make. So they may have different things. So it wouldn't, we could do a generic kind of get me the top 20 negotiators in the world and give me all their tips and create them into 3 tips. But then that's not from anybody. That's kind of very generic and bland. So I think we still need a person. And I think we as humans want people to talk to us, not machines. The fact is that that wasn't a person on the video, that was a machine. But it was constructed because obviously it produced a script from the information I gave it. And it then sent that script to a voice synthesizer, which is creating the voice out of the script. And that voice is just created from it learning, various words and phrases and what letters together sound like, to read it out and make it sound like a human being doing it. So voiceover artists are in trouble. Absolutely. Photographers are in trouble. Commercial photographers are in trouble. Graphic artists are in trouble. Copywriters are in trouble. All these things we can replace them with because they're not the thoughts necessarily of individuals. Whereas if we want, the thoughts of an expert in negotiating, then we want an expert, not, ChatGPT's summation of what it thinks an expert would say. So I think human beings still want experts, but then we all read material that's, generic from Wikipedia. We don't necessarily believe it, but we still use it. So I've just shown you one example of something you can do very quickly with a few AI tools, starting off, and I didn't give it anything other than 2 sentences. If I'd given it more than that, everything produced after that would have been a lot more accurate. But even so, even with just those 2 things, it's very accurate. And if you go to, I did an experiment with you.com. So I was mentioning that it combines all the different various AI versions that are currently available. And I just put my name in, just put Graham Jones, University of Buckingham. And it came back with about 300 words, all properly referenced from places that talk about me, including, the university website, my website, some clients who've spoken about me, various other places, and then combined them all into a biography of me, which is better than the biography I wrote about myself. And that literally was just 5 words. If I'd given it much more data and information, it would have produced something even better. If the prompt was better, it would have produced something even better. So even with simple prompts, these things are doing really well. So it's really straightforward to do, those PowerPoint slides, perfectly acceptable. They need a bit of tweaking, but that tweaking is not going to take you as long as creating those slides originally.
They probably look better than most people's PowerPoint slides anyway, don't they?
Right.
They don't look like they're created by artificial intelligence at all.
No.
They look really. So I thought they looked very good indeed.
Yeah.
Last point, Graham, before we stop the recording, and thank you in the normal way. What should we be doing about this?
Diving in, using it.
Diving in.
Don't put it off any longer.
anyone wants the link to Chat GPT 3.5, send me an email. I'll do that for you. And Chat GPT 4, which is out now, is $20 a month. Should I be using that, Graham? 4
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
should 3.5 be good enough for me?
Also, 4 protects you, so that if you put any confidential information on there, then nobody else is going to see it.
Right.
Whereas if you put it onto GPT 3.5, then there's the potential it can leak.
Okay, brilliant. Graham Jones, can I thank you again for giving us that demonstration, which was quite scary. The body language looks quite scary, and I'm actually quite scared that I'm, as Carl Wall says, I'm not needed anymore. But never mind. Give Graham a vote of thanks in the normal way, everybody. Thank you so much, Graham.
Thank you.
Yes, anyone wants to talk to Graham, he's at the University of Buckingham. You can find him on YouTube and Google, and goodness knows every other.
Or in the building behind me.
Or in the building behind him, which isn't real. And is it the real Graham Jones we're talking to?
Yeah, this is the real Graham Jones. If you hit me, it'll hurt. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks, Graham. Very much indeed. If you like this, please like it. Please circulate it amongst your friends and get everybody up to speed with artificial intelligence, because it's not going away.